This is Nick.
This is Jack.
It's Friday, the real Friday, March 31st. And today's pod is the best one yet. It's a T-Boy.
Thank God it's Quiz Friday.
Oh, it's not just Real Friday, it is Quiz Friday. Jack, what's going down today?
Our 1-minute weekly pop-biz pop quiz drops today.
Yetis, go to go.tboypod.com, take the T-Boy Quiz Challenge, challenge your besties.
Can you whip up the takeaways faster than we can say green eggs and ma'am?
Green eggs and ma'am, green eggs and ma'am, green eggs and ma'am. Jack, what's our first story for today's pod?
The Major League Baseball season began yesterday, but the business looks different this year.
Baseball has a brand new anti-boring strategy.
For our second story, tomorrow, on April Fool's, Twitter is making its most controversial change yet.
You live by the blue check mark, you die by the blue check mark.
And our third and final story, we just found out how much money one egg company made during Egg-flation.
Jack, a 700% egg profit omelet. Benedict.
Scrambled. Potatoes on the side.
Shakshuka.
But Yetis, before we hit that fantastic mix,
Just the perfect mix to go into a weekend with. I love this mix, man.
there is a dirty little secret spreading across America we wanted to tell you about.
This is a sneaky little surprise that nobody is talking about right now.
Yetis, is your neighbor's lawn green?
But we got to interrupt. Is your neighbor's lawn a little too green?
It's a little too green.
Yeah, it feels like it's chartreuse. That's a problem.
Get this, Yetis. Americans are painting their lawns green.
Jack, can you repeat that one? Because it may have to sink in for a second.
Americans are whipping out the paintbrush and painting their lawns green.
We repeat, you don't water your lawn. Apparently, you spray paint your lawn.
Wall Street Journal reporting reveals what we're calling the Great Lawn Lie.
Yeah, we're not talking green plants. We're talking green paints on the plants.
Just for men, it's for your sideburns.
Yeah, well, Benjamin Moore is for your side ferns.
Now, there are two reasons that people are painting their lawns green. And the first is Mother Nature.
Yeah, with chronic droughts, water is scarce, but paint is plentiful.
The second reason people are painting their lawns green is the money.
Yeah, Jack, about how much does it cost to water your lawn all year?
$1,000 if you're in a low rain place.
How much does it cost to paint your lawn?
$200, give or take.
That's it. And the third reason people are painting their lawns?
Panic.
Yeah, you're hosting the in-laws this weekend. You want to keep up with the Joneses.
Yeah, you do.
So many Americans are treating their lawns like a Claude Monet canvas.
They're going full Bob Ross on their backyard.
But Jack and I jumped in T-Boy style. Here's what we're thinking. Maybe the Great Lawn Lie isn't so bad after all.
Yeah, if you hydrate your hydrangeas, good for you.
And if you pigment your patio like Picasso, good for you too.
Forget the fertilizer.
Let's hit our three stories.
15 years before this song, two boys from the Northeast met in the dorm. They had an idea that caused a cultural storm. It's the best one yet, but the best is the norm. Jack, Nick, that's it. I don't even think they need to practice. 50%, that's a fat tip. T-Boy City on your at list. If you know, you know, cause we ready to go. We can't wait no more, so just start the show. Start the show.
For our first story, Major League Baseball just began, but baseball has an interesting business problem.
The boring problem.
It's the boring problem.
So this year, baseball made 3 major rule changes to kill off the boring.
Jack, what did we say the other day? It ain't spring unless you spill mustard on your skirt at a ball game.
Peanuts, popcorn, and programs. Get your programs here.
Programs here. Yeah, these baseball officially is back to pre-pandemic levels. We jumped in T-Boy style. Jack, what kind of numbers are we seeing, man?
Last year, Major League Baseball recorded a record revenue of over $10 billion.
Not too shabby. But Jack, can we sprinkle on a little context with the big 4 sports leagues?
That's double the revenue of hockey, same revenue as basketball, but half the revenue of the National Football League.
Baseball. It has 10 times the number of games as football, but it makes half the revenue.
So why? Why does baseball make so much less money per game than football does?
It's a big question. We'd ask Yogi Berra, but he'd probably confuse us. The answer, Jack, to why baseball is bringing in less money is because baseball has a growing, boring problem.
It has a boring problem, and the numbers show that it's become a little more boring.
In 2022, Major League Baseball experienced its lowest batting average in 54 years.
And in 2022, Baseball games were 3 hours and 7 minutes long on average.
That is longer than
The
ever.
average game's longer than the average Godfather movie.
Yeah, part 4. Oh, by the way, you could write a novel before the 9th inning finishes.
So Yetis Baseball has added 3 rule changes this year to try to kill the boring and bring back the fun.
Jack and I call this the anti-boring strategy. And frankly, MySpace should have done this too.
Rule change number 1, a 30-second timer between batters and a 20-second timer between pitches.
Sorry, Mr. Ortiz, you can't just crawl out there like it's a Balenciaga runway. You gotta run.
The second rule change is that they increased the size of the bases. All 3 bases have increased from 15 inches to 18 inches.
That base, that is the base runner's sanctuary. If they're on base, we're gonna get more runs. We're gonna have more fun.
And finally, they banned the defensive shift.
The defensive shift, that was brutal. That was just a buzzkill for all baseball fans.
I hated the defensive shift. We all hated the shift.
I gotta ask, to sprinkle on even more context here, you've been going to Billy's over in the Bronx to watch games with your dad since you were just a baby boy, haven't you, man?
Stans. It's Billy's or Stans. We're a Stans family.
So I gotta ask you, are these suggested rule changes actually gonna work?
Yes. They were already in place for spring training, and the average game was 25 minutes shorter.
Not too shabby. Ipso facto, Jack, are we saying that baseball just became 13% less boring?
There's a lot of standing still and doing nothing in baseball, but there's 13% less of that this season, okay?
And we love that about baseball. So, Jack, what's the takeaway for our buddies over in the dugout watching Major League Baseball?
We're all competing in the attention economy.
Now, Yetis, people often say that we millennials and Gen Z, we have a short attention span. Well, you know what? They're wrong.
They're wrong. We'll watch 50 hours of Game of Thrones and an hour-and-a-half long Succession finale, no problem.
There's nothing short about that. Consumers don't have shorter attention spans. We just have more competition for our attention.
Baseball's problem is that it takes too long and it's not enough fun. So people are watching something else.
So baseball's solution is to increase the value for your attention. More fun in less time.
Baseball doesn't have to be TikTokified into a 30-second swipeable video with emoji graphics.
Jack, Aaron Judge, as we are recording this podcast, just hit a home run in the Yankees opener. That is fantastic.
And he did it in 6 fewer seconds of standing still and doing nothing.
Yetis, baseball just needs to boost the fun per minute.
Because we're all competing in the attention economy, even baseball.
For our second story, tomorrow, this weekend, on April Fool's Day, Twitter is revoking blue check marks for everyone who doesn't pay them.
Which means Twitter is trying to do the unthinkable. Go from free to fee.
Yetis, we are talking about the biggest product change at Twitter since Elon brought that sink into the building a year ago.
Before Elon took over Twitter, there were 420,000 people and businesses that had those blue check marks.
Twitter kind of made the blue check mark a thing, didn't they, Jack?
That was their thing. But tomorrow, Saturday, April 1st, those 420,000 blue check marks are revoked.
If you are the Pepsi Corporation, if you are the Prince of England, it doesn't matter. You got to pay Elon $8 a month or you are going to lose that blue badge of honor.
But wait, there's more.
Besties, you don't just lose the blue check mark. Your Twitter experience also becomes meaningfully worse.
Elon announced this week that only paid users are going to show up in the For You section of a Twitter feed.
Meaning only paid tweeters can ever go viral.
And only paid users can participate in Twitter polls.
Meaning only paid users are going to have fun voting on stuff.
But there's one thing we should point out for everyone. Even paid Twitter users will still see ads.
So Yetis, Jack and I were looking at this story, and that's when we realized the meaning of the blue verified checkmark has transformed.
It's transformed from a badge in the past to an accessory today.
Let's talk about that blue checkmark. Those 420,000 people with legacy blue checkmarks, they earned it like somehow.
They earned it by either being super famous, semi-famous, kind of famous, or in our case, kind of, maybe, sort of, maybe, kind of famous.
Yeah, quasi, semi-round down famous. Or maybe you're just a journalist.
Yeah. And the old verified checkmark, they actually verified it. Like they checked to make sure you are the person you say you're being.
With the new system, anyone can buy a blue checkmark.
So it's not a badge. It's more of a fashion accessory.
Now, some may buy this blue checkmark for their ego.
Look, ma, blue checkmark.
Others may buy this blue checkmark for the algo.
Look, ma, my tweet got a lot of exposure in the For You section and kind of went viral.
But either way, it doesn't matter. The blue checkmark used to be a badge.
A signal to the rest of the network.
Now, the blue checkmark is a nice, pretty blue accessory.
It's valuable only to the individual who buys it.
It's kind of like a brooch. So, Jack, what's the takeaway for our buddies over at Twitter?
Elon is trying to do the unthinkable here. Go from free to fee.
Now, Yetis, Elon says he is doing this massive transition to treat everyone equally and to fight the bots.
But it's also a financial Hail Mary.
It is, because Jack and I should also point out that Twitter announced last week their valuation has fallen by half. Where is it now, Jack?
It was $44 billion when Elon acquired it, and Elon thinks it's worth $20 billion today.
To be honest, it's probably worth less based on the numbers.
Yeah, advertisers have bailed from Twitter, and now they're trying to make up for it by selling $8 a month check marks.
But Jack, what does that mean for Twitter now?
It means they have to charge 420,000 people for something that has always been free.
And for everyone else, it's a $96 a year paid experience that doesn't even eliminate the ads.
Elon is trying to do the unthinkable with $8 a month check marks.
Go from free to fee.
And now a word from our sponsor, Robinhood.
Golf at 11 a.m., pickleball by 2.
Gotta see the grandkids, but I don't know if we'll have enough time.
You're probably not thinking about retiring to Del Boca Vista quite yet.
But you could be thinking about how to afford retirement.
So the newest product from Robinhood, the IRA.
The only individual retirement account with a 1% match on every eligible dollar you contribute every year. Limitations apply.
In an IRA, your money has tax-deferred or tax-free growth potential.
So older you can maybe play pickleball at 2 o'clock.
To get started, go to Robinhood.com/TBoy and get your first stock for free. Conditions apply.
That's Robinhood.com/TBOY.
All investments involve risk. Contributions to and withdrawals from IRAs may entail tax consequences. Robinhood does not provide tax advice.
Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC.
For our third and final story before the weekend, we just got the numbers from the nation's largest egg producer. And Jack, what did their profits just do?
They octupled.
They octupled. You're gonna need a dictionary for this one, Yetis.
Because supply and demand giveth, but supply and demand taketh away.
Yes, it does, Jack. We are talking about the egg-flation situation.
The frittata fiasco.
Oh, my omelet, Jack. I put eggs on my caviar these days.
Yetis, the average price of a dozen eggs, it was $1.46 in January 2020.
Where is that price of eggs now?
It's gone from $1.46 to $4.83 today.
Eggs are the new nest egg. Can we say that Eggs Benedict are broken?
We can. And the government confirms that this is the worst of all the flations.
Yeah, these egg prices are the number one biggest price to pop out of any other food in the economy over the last year.
So what caused the egg shortage? It was the avian flu epidemic.
It's the avian flu epidemic. Sadly, a whole lot of chickens fell victim to a bird pandemic.
A shortage of egg-laying hens caused your huevos to go locos.
Well, perfect timing, because guess who reported earnings just this week?
A huge egg company.
Yeah, the biggest egg company in the entire United States.
Actually, a normal egg company. A normal egg company, that is big.
Actually, I think it's jumbo-sized egg company, Jack. 1 out of 5 eggs in America is made by this egg company.
And this egg company did marvelously last quarter.
Get these numbers. Sit down, stand up, and flip up again. Revenues doubled from last year for this company.
Profits? They're up 700% compared to last year.
We repeat, profits have 8x'd. Profits have octupled.
Cal Maine Foods. That's the company. The only Mississippi-based company I remember covering on the show.
It absolutely is, Jack. Now, like Ricky Bobby, Cal Maine does one thing and one thing only. And what is it, Jack?
Raises chickens to lay eggs.
But guess what? Strange thing we've noticed about Cal Maine, the egg producer.
Not a single one of their 53 million birds caught this flu.
Jack and I are staring into the frying pan. How does this management team explain their perfect health record?
They credit robust biosecurity protocols. We didn't ask for details. They didn't give them to us.
Apparently, their coops are like the safest place in America, Jack.
57 million birds across 47 states were infected by this epidemic.
And yet, not a single one of the Cal Maine hens called in sick.
Good job, hens.
So, Jack, what's the takeaway for our egg-laying buddies over at Cal Maine?
Supply and demand giveth, but supply and demand taketh away.
Now, Yetis, we know what you're thinking here. This is the most basic first-level analysis of Econ 101 that explains Cal Maine's situation.
The avian flu wiped out 1 billion eggs per month from our grocery stores, so the prices for eggs rose.
Yeah, that's the simple reason why Cal Maine's sales doubled and its profits jumped 700%. Octupled.
But strange thing Nick and I noticed as we researched this story.
Yes, we did.
Cal Maine's stock price is barely up.
We just said their profits went up 700%, and yet their stock is only up 12% in the last year.
The reason is that investors know the eggflation won't last. Eggflation ain't forever.
The high prices of those eggs is incentivizing farmers to restore production ASAP.
Soon, egg supply will come back to normal, and so will the prices of eggs and the profits for eggs.
So the way we see it, supply and demand allowed Cal-Maine to increase profits by 8x last quarter.
But investors know supply and demand will soon taketh away.
Jack, can you and that Jeter jersey whip up the takeaways for us over there?
Baseball has gotten longer and less exciting, but rule changes could fix that.
Because we're all competing in the attention economy.
For our second story this weekend, legacy Twitter checkmarks go away. They're for paid tweeters only.
Elon is going for the unthinkable, from free to fee.
And our third and final story is Cal-Maine. They're loving every minute of this eggflation situation.
Supply and demand giveth, but supply and demand also taketh away. Now, time for the best fact yet. This one sent in by Chris Harpy from lovely Asheville, North Carolina.
If you were born in the month of March, by the way, happy last day of March, it means you're special.
Yes, it does, because people born in March are more likely to become billionaires compared to those born in any other month.
According to a study by WealthX, individuals born in March have the highest likelihood of achieving billionaire status.
March, it ain't for millionaires. March, that's for billionaires, baby.
Now, I should point out, I'm born in March. My wife is born in March.
I should point out your entire family is born in March, Jack.
Okay, Brewster's Millions. The sequel is Brooks's Billions.
Jack, I gotta say, you might be the only person I know right now who can afford an egg.
You get an egg. You get an egg. You get an egg.
Must be nice. Jack's having eggs and ma'am all weekend long, man.
Yes, I am. Slam and Sam.
Yetis, you looked fantastic all week. Jack, you looked amazing. How's baby Brooks doing, by the way?
Baby Brooks is crushing it, man. He put on 38% of his weight in 2.5 weeks.
He's almost big enough to play the T-Boy Weekly Quiz, Jack.
You know what the equivalent would be for me in terms of weight gain? I'd have to gain 54 pounds to put on that kind of percentage.
Oh my omelet Yetis. We'll see you Monday. Celebrate the wins. And before we go, congratulations to Yetis Sumreen and Alex, a couple of Warden NBA besties who just had their wedding down in Cabo.
And congratulations to Avery Householder, who was just named the first honors grad at the University of Georgia at 14 years old.
And Ava Perez just got accepted to the University of Wisconsin-Madison School of Music. Keep playing it, Ava.
And a big shout out to Jason and Eric Diamondstein, who are traveling to Israel for Eric's bar mitzvah trip.
And Michael and Madeline Romero enjoy that Mexican disco first-year anniversary over in Kansas City.
And congratulations to Chris Anderson, who passed his CFA Level 1 in Jakarta, Indonesia. Oh, and Alakas, you might want to switch it into autopilot. Happy 27th birthday. We know you're ripping it in that Tesla right now.
And a big birthday to Bear Bazell, who's celebrating in Moorhead, Minnesota.
Happy birthday to Mia Lino in Scottsdale, Arizona.
And Zanub Bellows, enjoy that birthday at Kellogg, celebrating with some deep dish and a logistics class.
Happy birthday to Jet the Pilot Shepherds in Walpole, Mass.
Just outside Boston. And Elijah Owens is turning 12 in San Antonio, Texas.
And happy birthday to Chris Lindower in New Athens.
And Carrie in Columbus is celebrating that birthday with a Reuben pizza sandwich and cake.
And if you're still listening, you deserve credit. Check out go.tboypod.com to take our weekly pop-biz pop quiz.
Play the quiz, get 5 out of 5, get a shout out on next week's pod.
Nick and I will see you Monday.
Celebrate the wins.
This is Jack. Nick and I both own stock of Robinhood. And now a word from our sponsor, Robinhood.
Not spending money can be tough. We're all tempted by that top we just saw on TikTok.
Even harder, saving money for when you're 60.
But what if you got paid money to save money?
Robinhood Retirement offers the only IRA that does that on every eligible contribution every year.
For every eligible dollar you contribute to your retirement fund, they match 1% of it. No employer necessary. Limitations apply.
To get started, go to Robinhood.com/TBoy and get your first stock for free. Conditions apply.
That's Robinhood.com/TBOY.
All investments involve risk. Contributions to and withdrawals from IRAs may entail tax tax consequences. Robinhood does not provide tax advice.
Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC.
I love your just
Great
outside of
job.
Boston thing like more than anything we do.
I'm so glad.
It makes me very happy every time. Just